Today we're gonna be reacting to this video called The Story of LSPLASH, the dev behind Roblox Doors by Skate, by the way. Here we go.
3 billion visits.
Yeah.
A number that many developers dream of achieving even 1/10 of. Brought forth in a game that has completely redefined the entire horror genre on Roblox.
Yeah.
Inspiring numerous remakes and going viral across the internet almost immediately. This game is quickly catapulted to the top of Roblox after being released not even a year ago. This is the story of LSPLASH, the man behind the hit game Doors.
Oh yeah.
But before we delve into the world of terrifying eldritch creatures that were shown to us indoors, we must first explore where it all began. Starting his career in around 2015, LSPLASH worked on a few miscellaneous projects, most notably developing under the user Bonic10 for his game.
I didn't know that.
3. In Movie Maker 3, you could create your own short films using the carefully crafted animation and recording system. I'm not sure to what extent LSPLASH worked on this one, as the game's description is rather vague. It just mentions him as a GUI designer and developer. I don't know how much of the development he actually did, but what I do know is that it's safe to say that this game was exceptionally ahead of its time. I mean, just look at this animation system and keep in mind this was made in 2015. Like, this is absolutely insane.
Crazy.
LSPLASH, known as Lightning Splash to some, was quite a talented developer, doing jobs behind the scenes for a few years before finally beginning his own projects in 2017. In fact, his earliest tweets display his coding prowess, creating various UI systems and sharing sneak peeks of what would become his first successful game. LSPLASH eventually teamed up with his friend and development partner Redibles to create their game studio, which they also decided to call LSPLASH for some reason. It kind of makes it a little bit confusing that the group and developer are both named the same thing, but they obviously know what they're doing when it comes to creating games, so I digress. LSPLASH has been so successful that his group is actually the 4th biggest on the platform.
Oh, that's cool.
And don't
I
get
didn't
me wrong,
know that.
Redibles is extremely talented too, but this video is just on LSPLASH, so I won't be talking much about him in this one. Now, it was time for LSPLASH to release his first game, and he most certainly would not disappoint. Ragdoll Mayhem, now known as Ragdoll Universe, was a fun third-person shooter game that combined the traditional Ragdoll mechanics many love with a new fresh take on the shooter genre. The main menu GUI is super polished, and overall this game just feels so well made. And I mean, look at this cute little guy. You can even make him dance.
That's very cool.
The game has a ton of different weapons, and the gameplay is actually super fun. But unfortunately, the game no longer receives regular updates because, you know, the dev team kind of has their hands full with Doors. LSPLASH learned a ton from the development of this game, knowledge that he would eventually carry on to his next release, Vocab Havoc. Vocab Havoc was an attempt to draw on the hype of the viral game Wordle, bringing a unique player versus player experience to the already loved word game. However, this game would go on to reach limited success, inevitably spiraling into irrelevance quite quickly. I personally think that the game was pretty fun, but there must have been some issues or unfixed bugs that went unanswered behind the scenes, as the like ratio on this game is particularly disappointing. One thing that's pretty cool about this game is that LSPLASH actually took the coin sound when you win at the end of every round and implemented it indoors whenever you pick up a coin, as you can see here. Now, after these releases, LSPLASH brought us the game that is indisputably his most popular title to date. Doors released on August 10th, 2022, and the game's rise to fame was almost meteoric.
August 10th? It's gonna be a year now. What the heck?
Player count seemed to be multiplying, and its daily visits were going absolutely through the roof.
Doors released 1 year ago. That's crazy.
For a day, the game had already reached over 250,000 plays. It was safe to say that this game was going to be one of the most popular games.
Yeah, it became popular real fast.
And Doors went on to prove this, amassing over 300 million plays in just 1 month after release. At the game's release, Doors was quite a bit smaller than today's game. There were only 100 doors and 1 floor. No back rooms, nothing. Nevertheless, the fun new game attracted numerous content creators, including Creek, Think Noodles, Sunday, and more. The biggest names in Roblox content creation were all coming together and hopping on the trend, and it was beginning to look like the sky was the limit for the future of Doors. With the release of Doors, LSPLASH brought us 14 entities, 6 items, and even 6 completely original soundtracks. One thing that I think is pretty cool about this game is that LSPLASH actually composed and created all of the music found in the game
that's insane, dude.
And as you probably already know, because I've been using them for much of this video, they're actually all copyright free. Things were going great so far, but all it took was one bad actor with the potential to completely crumble everything LSPLASH had built. And as I said, LSPLASH's intent was for the music he made to be completely copyright free. But back in September, just a month after the game released, someone actually uploaded the Doors soundtrack on Spotify and was using that leverage to copyright claim a bunch of YouTubers and various videos on the internet. It ended up being resolved rather quickly, but it was still rather annoying for creators who wanted to upload content and they were struck with copyright claims right away. But hey, I'm just happy it's all resolved now because I can use the soundtracks in this video. LSPLASH now had his hands on what could allow him to retire young, so the talented dev was determined to play his cards right and make the hype last. His first few updates consisted of various bug fixes, adding redeemable codes to the game, and creating various UGC products. LSPLASH's intent was to further solidify the strong base of the game before moving on to more risky, expansive updates. After all, it's much better to iron out bugs and other unintended features early rather than having to deal with it all at once later on. Within this time period, Doors was actually the second fastest game on the entire platform.
The first one is Piggy. It's still Piggy.
94 days.
I think.
Doors went on to grow exponentially month over month, with the game's first major update expected to release in late 2022. However, due to unforeseen circumstances and LSPLASH not wanting to release an unfinished, unpolished game, the update was inevitably delayed to January 28th, 2023. LSPLASH took to Twitter to explain the delays, citing that the game was actually growing so fast that they didn't have the proper legal framework in place, and that the delays were a result of balancing that between development. Players were getting frustrated waiting so long for new content, but in the end, LSPLASH did not disappoint. Dubbed the Hotel Plus update, this release brought us a ton of content, bringing 10 new entities, 5 new items, achievements, and even a shop that appears midway through the run. Although my favorite part of this update was quite obviously El Goblino. Amidst all these crazy additions, there was one that overshadowed
Jeff,
them
don't forget
all.
Jeff.
Dubbed an Easter egg of sorts, this update also brought 1,000 more floors to explore, found in a place called the Rooms. This Backrooms-esque area was an instant hit, causing many players to try it out in pursuit of the new achievements. However, this is widely considered one of the most rage-inducing areas of the game, as you can literally run for 100 plus floors with absolutely nothing happening.
Bro, I'm already feeling anxiety. I'm not even playing Rooms right now. I'm already feeling anxiety, dude.
Just to die because Rush randomly decides to appear and you can't hear his audio cue. Overall, this update revitalized Doors as a whole and was important in restating that Doors was in fact here for the long run. Looking to the future, one contributor to Doors mentioned that the hotel update would actually be the last major update to the first floor of the hotel. This had many players hoping that the next big update would be a brand new floor. However, LSPLASH and the devs had other plans, releasing the Super Hard Mode update on April Fool's 2023. Released as an obvious April Fool's gag, this update was actually pretty substantial. It added a variety of entities, including the terrifying creepypasta, Jeff the Killer.
I don't know if you've
ever seen this before, but just look into this man's
eyes. That's the scary. That's the hardest one.
Caught in a room alone with this guy. This mode did exactly what the name entails. It made your Doors experience absolutely miserable. But nevertheless, many badge hunters set out to complete this awful challenge. My favorite part of the update was definitely the new Screech audio. The devs actually replaced it with a sped up version of the "Why are you running" meme.
That's so funny, man.
They even added banana peels that spawned absolutely everywhere that you could slip on.
Oh, that's so annoying.
They most definitely completely achieved their goal of making players' lives absolutely miserable. Or at least they made my life miserable. Let me know what you guys think. The event only lasted for a week, eventually being reverted to the pre-April Fool's patch. But for Doors' first proper event, I think that LSPLASH did an absolutely fantastic job. Overall, LSPLASH has consistently proven that he is here to stay in the Roblox developer community. I think it's absolutely crazy that this guy has come out of effectively nowhere and had such a massive game blow up virtually overnight. Comparing with horror games, it's literally only second to Piggy in terms of how fast the games grew.
It's crazy,
has managed to succeed where other horror games on the platform lack, optimizing Doors for replayability to keep players coming back.
And Doors is a very unique game.
Compare this guy to some other devs in the community, because most had to release quite a few games before they had their first viral hit. However, LSPLASH did it in just a few tries. In my eyes, this puts LSPLASH up there with the likes of developers such as Minitoon. Considering the sheer impact he has had in such a short time on the platform, I think his success is completely deserved. Do you guys agree? Let me know in the comments.
And also one more thing, I've already said that previously, but if you take a look at like the best Roblox developers, you know, let's say LSPLASH, Minitoon, Hazem, Asimo, BadCC, all of those developers are interacting with the community, you know? They're constantly talking to the community, you know, asking for suggestions, and that's just something not all developers do. But if you think about it, you know, the best developers, all of them constantly interact with the community, and I really appreciate that, you know? But of course, guys, I'll have the full video link down in the description if you want to check it out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!